Alright, so here I am downtown Columbus, Ohio. The scenes filmed here is when Will is on the phone getting ready to take his family into the countryside, and there are some establishing shots here in Columbus, and we're gonna check it out. Let's see. The scene starts off just like this with the camera panning down into this alleyway, and it shows Will putting some luggage into his Range Rover, which is parked right here. And there are a few things I could show you that still match up today, such as the side of this building, this little brick siding. That blue awning is still there, along with the one-way signs, and the side of this building can be seen in this shot as well. So Will tells his wife that they're going on a trip. Now we see him putting his bags into the back of the car, all right here. He's also on the phone telling people to take care of business while he's out of town. And then he walks over to the back door and he's talking to his son, and he's like, "Are you ready to get your first deer?" And his son is like really uneasy about killing a deer for the first time, because, you know, he's got his dad's rifle and then it was his rifle and all that stuff. But yeah, this is one of the scenes filmed right here downtown Columbus, and I'm pretty sure at one point it pans back up because you can see the side of this building along with that circular thing right there at the tippy top. I don't know what that is. Some kind of tower, maybe some satellite tower or radio tower or something. It's definitely not a helicopter pad, but it's way up there. Now it's crazy because on my way into Columbus, it was really foggy. And I'm down here downtown and seeing the skyscrapers, kind of not so much in the clouds now. But for a future reference, if anybody wants to come visit, the Chase Bank Tower is right there. Actually, no, that's not Chase Bank. This is Chase Bank Tower. Yeah, Chase Tower on that Chase Tower Valet. So yeah, that right there is Chase Tower, not that one. Although it could look like it is a bank tower because it's blue and white, whatever. But yeah, and just on the other side of the street is the State House and the Columbus Dispatch right there. All right, in the film, there is an aerial shot that comes over that tree line, and you can see this little lonesome tree out here all by itself. And you can see Will, his wife, and Danny in the car as they come down the road here and they turn onto Dry Creek, which the sign can be seen in the shot as well. But the Lazy River Campground is where we are about to go. The scene takes place on North 661. We come around here. There's the lonesome tree out there by itself, and right there is the sign to Dry Creek. Now in the film, things change obviously over time, but the sign to Dry Creek was just a little bit bigger. They come down over the hill right there, make a right turn, which is our left. They go down that way, and one thing that's really cool about this specific spot is they pass an old abandoned building, old house, barn, whatever, right there. You can still see it. And they go up around the bend. When Will, his wife, and Danny enter Granville, this church can be seen in the establishing shot as Will and his Range Rover are in the left lane. When it makes you think that they go down this way into downtown Granville. However, there is another shot that says that that is fake. So earlier when I said when Will and his family are driving in to Granville down that way, that church is up there on the right, how I said that shot was faked because it looked like they were going this way, when in actuality there's a close-up scene of Will driving and he's going this way because that Dragon Village sign can be seen along with that dental sign, along with the bank too, that's right there on the right side of it. They faked it. Wonder how many times they had to get shots of him driving up and down this road. So there's a scene where Officer Howell parks his car along one of the sidewalks here, and he comes walking down the sidewalk. That Aladdin Fine Food Diner sign can be seen, and there's a shot of Hal walking this way towards the camera, and they want you to think that little diner that he goes into, he just makes sort of like a left turn. Maybe he went into this alley or something, but it's actually nowhere near where he actually had turned at. In actuality, he went to the Aladdin Diner, which is right over beyond this pub on Broadway. So like I said, it was shots of him walking right through here, making a left turn. This sign can be seen in the background, but in actuality, like I said, he goes into the Aladdin restaurant right here, diner, whichever. It's pretty good. I've actually ate here quite a few times. They're closed right now. They close at 1. It's getting close to 3 o'clock, but that entire scene was filmed inside of there, where he meets up with the other officer, and they don't really say much. They kind of exchange just a few words, and Hal's got a look of disappointment on his face. So when Will and his family arrive in Granville, they make a stop, they pull in a parking lot, and Will gets out and goes into a store and comes back with a bag full of stuff. Now, this is the alleyway. Broadway, the main road in Granville, is on the other side of this building. So he can be seen walking through this alleyway, and this specific building can be seen in the shot because if you look close at the roof, there's like a three-step roof side right there, because we're definitely in the right spot. So as you walk over here, I'll show you exactly where he parked at. So right over there is where we just were, the roof with the 3 steps roof, currently standing behind a church called Centenary Church. And actually this specific location kind of took me a while to find. I did these filming locations before and I couldn't figure out this exact spot until now. So that's really cool. So like I said, I'm in the parking lot behind the church. These windows can kind of be seen in the shot when Will is closing the doors. So I want to say he was probably parked somewhere where these cars are parked, because, and how I know this is because Hal pulls up behind him, he gets out, asks for his license and registration, and that's when he finds out who he is, because Hal worked with his dad, and there's a shot of Hal speaking to him, and this building can be seen in the shot as well. This actually, I'm really amazed that I actually found this, because it took me so long to figure it out, because they changed the siding of the building. That little corner over there by that window and that little water spout, it used to be white, and those bushes weren't there, but this parking only sign was there. So I finally figured it out. So this is the exact parking lot where Will and his family met Officer Howell, who once worked with Will's dad. So pretty cool. So earlier when I said I did these filming locations before, I had been to the diner, well, the Aladdin food restaurant, quite a few times before I actually got to sit at the booth that Bruce Willis sat at. So here's a clip of me like 5 years ago sitting at the booth right here inside of this diner. The same booth that Officer Hal Bruce Willis sat at. I've been to the Aladdin Diner 4 times and I have yet to sit at the booth that Bruce Willis sat in, but today it finally happened. Sitting right where Bruce Willis sat in the movie First Kill. So when I came through the entrance, they gave me this nifty little map, and where we want to go is right here, the Lower Trail / Bruce Willis Trail. Now it's funny, is before you go on to the lower trail where the movie was filmed, you got to pass by this little obstacle course type deal. I don't know what it's for specifically. I don't know if it's like paintball, if it's tag, if it's like a dog park. I don't really know. But at one point, this actually used to be called, I want to say, the Bruce Willis Trail or the Bruce Willis Obstacle Course, something like that. But they did name it not too long after they filmed that movie here. But the sign is gone, which kind of sucks. But it's still pretty cool to see something like this. But the trail is off in that direction. All right, so here we are at the Lazy River Campground, just in between Newark and Granville. Little place, little hidden gem that nobody really, I mean, people go to it, but it's a pretty cool place actually. Kind of sits off in the little countryside. But anyway, this is where they filmed the wood scenes. There are 2 specific scenes that were filmed here. We're gonna check out the first location, and then we're gonna come back later to check out the final location. So here we go with the first scene in the woods. So when Levi kidnaps Danny, they head for the trail. Levi and Danny are in a truck. Will is on a quad, followed by another officer that they're trying to stop. But those action scenes on that trail, or on this trail here, right behind the Lazy River Campground, just outside of Granville here in Newark, Ohio. They're pretty close. It's in between the two. But yeah, all those scenes were filmed right along this trail. Now there's an entrance down that way, and there's an entrance down that way. There's only 2 ways of getting on this trail, one of which you have to go through the main area of the campground. But this one over here is right off the side of the road by the bridge. I don't recommend going that way because technically this is private property. There are no trespassing signs as well. So if you want to see this trail, you got to go through the main area and check it out. It's behind the campground. You have to park and walk across a little bridge, and then you gotta go through this little area, and there's just a little trail off to the right side, and you just follow it and you end up down here. So people ride their bikes through here, people walk through here. It's kind of nice and peaceful out here, minus the annoying, irritating bugs that are flying around my face right now. So being that this is a nature scene, I guess, if you will, because we're out here in the middle of the woods, there's not really much for me to go off of, other than the fact that it's just a trail. I mean, there's trees and stuff, but there is one specific part up here that I'm going to show you that I can definitely match up. But like I said, all the scenes of them driving are going down this trail. So just, these freaking bugs, man. So just think that all those scenes were filmed right here on this trail, because they were, and that's pretty much what I'm going off of. So, you know, these are the kind of filming locations that I like. You know, it's different from being in a big city, being surrounded by traffic and loud noises and people interrupting your shot. As far as out here, it's nice, it's peaceful, but I'm pretty sure there's a tractor going off somewhere in that direction, pretty loud. But I mean, other than that, it's really peaceful out here. It's nice being out in nature for once and not in a big city. Gotta watch myself and make sure I don't get any poison ivy. Yeah, there's a sign right there that says dismount bike here, stop and walk your bike. Well, I don't have a bike, so I'm gonna keep walking. When Will was chasing Levi, he had the truck and his son was in it, and Will is on a quad. They come up to this little Y-shaped trail here. It kind of splits off. One goes this way, one goes up that way. So right up there is where the trail splits off. where Will and Levi go their separate ways, but somehow they come back together, which in actuality wouldn't have happened because this specific trail goes out to a big open area, as you can see, and that trail goes way off in the distance. When Will is looking for his son, Danny, he comes to this little billboard, poster board, if you will, right here on the sidewalk. This clock can be seen in the shot as well, and he's kind of standing around looking here at night. And that little note that Levi left is posted right here. Crazy, got some events going on in Granville here. Kiwanis Club, bike clubs, summer concerts. Pretty cool. But yeah, it is 2:30-ish in the afternoon. But yeah, filmed right here along the strip, downtown Granville. So this here is the post office in Granville. The scene filmed here is when Will has that key that he recovers, and he goes in and goes up to mailbox 570, and he pulls a bag of money out of the bottom drawer. He goes to get up, and then Officer Howell finds him in there with the said bag of money. They get into a little bit of a tussle. Then Howell arrests him, and I believe that he was parked right over here in this parking lot. These little few spaces right here. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the post office policy is on filming inside of a post office, so I'm not going to, but I do believe I've been here before, and there actually is a mail slot 570. I'll post a quick picture of it so you guys can see that there is actually an actual mailbox in there. Wow, this is something you don't see much anymore. A payphone? That's crazy. All right, so here we are towards the end of the movie. Officer Howell and Will are in the car, and they come up through this little trail right here, and they stop. A bridge can be seen in the background. Those tables weren't there, but this is definitely the right area because there's only 2 entrances to this specific trail. So as I said before, Will and Hal come in through there, and they don't go very far. Trail, this is new. I've been here before and this wasn't here. They're putting a new trail up that way, but where we want to go is not too far. Now during the final firefight, if you will, Levi and Danny are in the bunker, and the bunker is said to be somewhere in this brush, sort of maybe halfway up the hill, because there is a specific scene where it shows Will, and he is about to shoot Officer Howell, and you can see him sort of like way up there underneath all them green plants, trying to hide himself so he doesn't know where he's at. But I'm trying to find, which I believe is somewhere over in this vicinity, the 2 trees that Will shoots Officer Howell. I want to say it could be these 2 sets of trees right here. So it's kind of weird seeing Bruce Willis as the villain for once. I mean, when you think of Bruce Willis, you think of like Die Hard and all those movies and all the action movies that he's in, and he doesn't ever really play the villain. But in this film, it's really interesting to see him be a villain in the town next to mine where I grew up at. So that's pretty crazy, I would say. Another thing I want to mention really quick is, being that these scenes were filmed on this trail, if you go all the way to the top of this hill, that is somebody else's property. So they didn't have very far to go when they filmed these scenes. They were all on this really steep hill. So after Will tells Danny to hide, he hides up in that little tree stand. And then one of the officers comes up and he's like, "Is there any more room for 2?" And he hits him over the head with a giant piece of wood. And then during that whole final firefight scene, Levi gets shot, and then it becomes a hostage situation where Officer Howell has Will's wife. And then Danny comes in, saving the day, I guess, if you will. Not really. He tries to be a hero, but he's not. He pulls a gun on Officer Howell. And as the wife is crying, Levi gets up, which I believe is probably somewhere over here. He gets up and pretty much yells and throws off Officer Howell, making him look the opposite direction. And then that's when we see the final demise of Officer Howell. Will shoots him right in between the eyes from way up there. All right, so behind me is the Buxton Inn. It's a hotel. It's pretty haunted, so I hear. It's really old. I'm going to give you a little bit of movie tidbit information that you probably didn't know about. So the bunker scenes that Levi goes in and he takes Danny with him, those bunker scenes were filmed in the basement here at the Buxton Inn. I guess supposedly they set up some walls, fabricated the whole thing, made it look all legit, but there was an actual news article from when this movie came out that they had actually filmed inside of here in the basement. So the more you know, I guess. Now you know. This here is St. Luke's Church here in Granville. Now this scene towards the end of the movie is there's an officer holding the recovered bag of money. Now there's news crews, there's camera crews. There's a ton of people gathered right here in front of this staircase. That scene took place right here. All right, y'all, that's going to be a wrap on the filming locations for the movie First Kill, starring Hayden Christensen and Bruce Willis. Filmed in Central Ohio, here, Granville, Newark area. It was a lot of fun to do these locations, especially since they're not very far from my house. And I think that's gonna be it. So if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And remember to subscribe, comment, share. Let me know what you think of this movie if you ever watched it. If not, I suggest go checking out at least once. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Be safe. I'll see you guys next time on Jordan's Film Quest.